gang? Welcome back to Talking the Orville live show. Splosion. Pardon my dust. I'm in the middle of turning my studio into an office again now that we are back into Orville community outreach mode. Turning this into an office to get work done. I'm trying to get some another business off the ground so I can help fund me continuing to do Talking the Orville, because if I don't, I'm gonna be homeless. So that's that. But hey, we're here to talk about the 25th century and a tiny little smidgen of the 26th century, having to do with the Orville Sympathy for the Devil, which was an amazing read, an amazing listen. I have the text version and the audible version, narrated by Bruce Boxleitner, and boy, does Bruce know how to read. He's a very good reader, you guys. I was enthralled the entire time. What are you guys up to? Today is the 1 month anniversary of the last time we got a brand new episode of the Orville, Future Unknown, and the future is still unknown. For the Orville's next season, the 4th season, the future is not unknown for the fandom. The fandom will just keep going on and on and on. Thank you so much, Thomas O'Mahony, for helping to keep the lights on here. And like I said, pardon my dust. I don't have a fancy background with all the lights and the whoozawats that's going off in the background or anything like that. I'm renovating my little studio so we can keep doing cool stuff as the months, the weeks, the days, the minutes and seconds, and the years keep going on and on and on with this amazing fandom. Brandon Reynolds, already been a month. Wow, a month to the day. 1 month ago, later in the evening, there was a brand new episode of the Orville, Future Unknown, which was an amazing episode, but we talked about that amazing episode. Now we got to talk about Sympathy for the Devil, and let me tell you right now, wait a minute, is there a buzz? No, it's just something going on outside. Let's make sure it wasn't my computer, you guys. Stupid pewters and these Google machines. We're talking about Sympathy for the Devil, which I have no doubt in my mind, if they were able to film this episode, it would have been an Emmy winner. It would have been 1 week later, we would have gotten an announcement of a 4th season. This episode would have been the most ambitious episode, and I'm not talking about effects-wise, I'm talking story-wise. The most ambitious episode the Orville or any show probably ever would have done. This was an Emmy winner, and Seth MacFarlane says that he still would like to film this episode for the 4th season of the Orville. The only reason he put it out is he loved this story so much, he didn't want people to miss out on it. I mean, there were so many lessons to be learned. Classic sci-fi. You got to throw some Nazis in there to tell a classic sci-fi story. All the classic sci-fi stories and IPs always throw some Nazis in there at some point. The Orville is no different. TBNTX, thank you so much for that super chat. Hoping for a 4th season. As am I. As is Seth MacFarlane, the cast, the crew. They are still hoping. They still got their fingers crossed, and they're still talking about the hope for a 4th season. When will we get that? No clue. Definitely sometime this year there will be an announcement one way or another, and then hopefully next summer the Orville will be back in the studio putting together a whole new season of adventures for us, you guys, for us to talk about, to cry about. The Orville is now a crying show. It'll make you cry now more than often than the previous 2 seasons. Probably a couple tears per episode. I'm very much looking forward to crying over new episodes of the Orville, which I vow will be the case. Let me press some buttons here. There's things popping up on my screen. You guys remember pop-ups back in the day? Did anybody still get pop-ups? I don't get pop-ups. But good times back in the day with those pop-ups, you guys. I would like to see it for sure, says Shrike. What's going on, Shrike? Shane Blythe, what's going on? Missed you, bro. Well, I'm back. I'm back in community mode. No new episodes to talk about, though. I do have a great interview that I did a while back still to put out, going behind the scenes of episode 9 that made it into the season, where we lost Charlie. Got some great behind the scenes info of that and some other episodes as well, but we'll see if they make the cut, you guys. Hopefully that'll be coming out this week. Carla says, love the show. We must have another season. We absolutely must have another season. Just as Mark Jackson said to me, the stories are not over. There's still a lot more to be told about the Orville universe. I think it can be an endless stream of amazing stories that can go on for 56 years, you guys. Hello from New Zealand. How's it going in New Zealand? Did they film the Rings of Power over it, besides in giant sound stages? Did they film any of it over in New Zealand this time? It's very Peter Jackson-esque from what I've seen from the opening episode. Yeah, block those pop-ups. I remember that too. Please no more singing, Gordon. We get it. He can sing. He absolutely can. We did get Bortus singing this season, though. Not as interesting of a singer as Scott Grimes is, but except for when Bortus is doing some Elvis. I can listen to Bortus's Elvis all day long. Natasha says, it's disappointing that they are so on the fence about the show. It's a beautiful show. I hope Disney Plus does numbers. I'm rewatching on Disney Plus and Hulu, as am I. And from my research that I've been doing, the Orville is way up there in the ratings with not only Hulu, it's always in the top 10 for the last, since season 3 began. The same is with Disney Plus. It's always in the top 10, top 5 with Disney Plus. So the chances are very good that they're going to want to invest in another season. It's very expensive. It's an incredibly expensive show, and it's not keeping any streaming services alive. Like, there's other shows out there that were only brought out just to support a brand new streaming service. The Orville doesn't have that behind it. So, it's all up to whether the powers that be want to put the money into it, just to give people hope for the future. And, it's going to get the numbers, you guys. Lord of the Rings was live right next to it. Oh, okay. It's going on right next to you. Awesome. Legend. Apex Legends. Great news. I keep watching it again and again. There and back again, right? When it comes to the Orville. Season 1, only future seasons will not be. I don't know what that refers to. Season 1 only. Future seasons will not be. That sounds like a prophecy. Can you rate shows in Disney Plus? I'm not sure if Disney Plus has the up-down vote like Hulu does. On Hulu, you can go on there and give it a thumbs up. I'm not sure what Disney Plus has, but from the reports coming out, the show is doing very well on Disney Plus. Also on Hulu, it was there was some report that the two shows that were getting all the ratings were the Orville and Only Murders in the Building, which is a really big show. Brandon says, I have my dad watching it and 9 friends now all hooked on the show. You were doing exactly what Penny Johnson-Gerald told us to do. Get people to watch it and get them to get their friends to watch it. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the views. Just like with YouTube, it's all about the views. How long they watch it? Do they go on to another episode? All that jazz that is important these days, you guys. Gene Stiller, UK. Hey, JP, followed you since Egotastic. I had to wait a while until the UK got the Orville on Disney, but I knew it would be great as you were such a convert. Now I know how right you were. Hashtag renew. Well, you didn't put the hashtag, but I always put hashtag on there. Hashtag renew, says Gene Steeler UK. We shall get this thing renewed, you guys. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait, but I'll tell you right now, if Sympathy for the Devil was able to be filmed for season 3, it would have been the game changer. This is the craziest story. The first hour and a half I'm listening to it, I'm enthralled in the story, but there was no Orville. After about an hour, I forgot that I was listening to an Orville story, and I thought I was just listening to a book. And then halfway through, Orville stuff started happening, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm listening to Orville, and wow, I knew there was going to be some sort of twist. The twist was amazing. My favorite holodeck story ever. Talk about the trials and tribulations that can happen in a holodeck, and that's what this episode is about. This guy lived his whole life, Otto, who turns out his name is Adam. I knew there was something up with him. I didn't know if he was an alien and didn't know it, because at the beginning of the story, there's this spare baby laying around. You guys want this spare baby? Sure, I'll take the spare baby. And the baby was raised, moved to Germany, got in cahoots with the Third Reich, became a Nazi himself. He believed in the cause, and then it turns out his whole life was from a holodeck. It's like the Truman Show, but you add a holodeck into the mix. Absolutely amazing. And then this whole second half of it was just a great Orville episode. And typical Orville, not always quite the happy ending you're hoping for, but still it was a hopeful ending. And we got to see Ty. Well, we didn't really see him. We read him. Ty, as a 75-year-old, showed up at the end of the story, which is absolutely incredible. I was like, ooh, that's going to be Tyre Marcus. 75-year-old Tyre Marcus. Absolutely incredible. And they're bringing Seth brought in the whole parallel with how social media works nowadays, which is one of my favorite topics, is the groupthink, the algorithm, how algorithms work. You show a little interest in something, and that algorithm of that social media site will just keep sending you down that rabbit hole and amplifying whatever you showed slight interest in, until it's to the point where that's the only thing you're interested in. It'll take over your mind. It's absolutely one of the biggest worries that we as a species should be worried about right now, and he put that in there as well. Absolutely incredible. Popping up a mirror to things going on, social commentary, you guys. Everybody's going hashtag renew the Orville. Yeah, Hulu right now is US only. Thank goodness the Orville is pretty much on Disney Plus everywhere around the world for the most part. I'm sure there's some parts that have Disney Plus that don't have the Orville, but most of them do. And now it's on Disney Plus in the United States as well. So Hulu, I love me some Hulu. It's my favorite streaming service, but you can always get it on that Disney Plus if you have it. Plus Disney Plus is cheaper too, which is pretty good. I like things that are cheaper. But I got rid of almost all my streaming services except for Hulu and Disney Plus, because if you have Hulu, you get Disney Plus for like $2 or $3. And then I also kept Amazon Prime because, you know, I use it for the shipping and stuff, but you just happen to get all the TV show stuff as well. And I think that's all. No, I kept Peacock as well because I love all the NBC programming. It's probably the only TV shows that are standard primetime shows. I like the ones on NBC. I always have. They're the best place for comedy for me. So I kept that as well. And I got rid of everything. I got rid of Netflix. You guys. John Allen Morovitz, thank you so much for that $20 super chat. Doctor Who scarf guy. Oh, I still got that. Well, of course I still got it. What am I going to do with it? It's an amazing thing. Thank you so much for that Doctor Who scarf. It's a big scarf. But thank you so much, John. Commander ZLA, which I like to say, Saleya. That's how I pronounce it. Do we miss the lack of comedy is in the latest season? I didn't notice a lack of comedy. I noticed an influx of drama. The comedy was all there for me. It's just the drama. Once the drama happens, people forget about the comedy things that they just saw, or they don't notice the comedy that's also laced into the more dramatic scenes as well. So I didn't miss any comedy at all. In fact, I love the tone of this season more than the previous two seasons. But, you know, some people, they want the slapstick. I get it. I like that stuff too. Margot says, I watched Orville on Hulu 3 times and then 2 times on Disney Plus. That's how you do it, Margot. That is a fan of the Orville. Orvillian achievement unlocked. Thank you very much, Margot. We want to get these people back to work on 25th century space stuff, you guys. Let's see. I find more stuff on HBO Max than Netflix. may dump Netflix also. I would agree. I prefer HBO Max to Netflix, but also HBO Max, just like Netflix, too damn expensive. Just too expensive. So I just had to say, you know what? A lot of the stuff that I watch on HBO Max usually shows up on YouTube anyway, so I'll just watch it over there. But yeah, I found more movies and stuff, and they got some great shows on HBO Max. I'm kind of forgetting. Well, of course, you got Doom. There's a bunch of stuff. I can't go through them. There's thousands of things. I was actually really enjoying Paramount Plus the last few months because they're putting a lot of TV shows on there that I enjoy. But I'm like, you know what? Too much TV. That's the last thing I need. So I decided to get rid of them as well. And I just stuck with the Hulu, especially since all the TV shows are coming back because it's fall. So they're all going to be on Hulu. So I might as well just stay with that. And Hulu's got great movies. Of course, they got the Orville. So I stuck with that. I need to finish Only Murders in the Building because I love not only everybody involved with that show, but I love the concept and the work that they've been doing. I hope She-Hulk joins fate with Cowboy Bebop 2021 and Resident Evil 2022. I enjoyed I only seen 2 episodes of She-Hulk, but it's just a fun show. I like the humor of it, but no Marvel show is important to me anymore, and I'm not taking a stance on anything. I think I just outgrew it. It's all just starting to kind of be the same thing to me. But yeah, I enjoy their TV shows, Marvel's shows, more than I do the movies. I watched the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness a couple weeks ago. I was really looking forward to it because I loved the first one. But I was like, this is too much stuff. There is too much stuff happening in this movie that my brain is kind of like, okay, I'm done with it. I got tired of watching it because there was just too much stuff going on where I couldn't keep track of anything. Did Disney Plus censor something in the Orville? No. I mean, Disney has owned the Orville for a few years now. Pretty much the entire 3rd season, as it was being made, it was a Disney production. No, they let Seth do whatever he wants. There was something edited, though, in season 3. Not for Disney reasons, but for science reasons. Remember in Twice in a Lifetime when they went and they picked up Gordon just 1 month after he landed on Earth? And I was like, oh no, they should have gone 3 or 4 months. They should have picked him up because he sent the distress signal. They picked up the wrong Gordon. That's going to cause a time paradox. Turns out that just went over their heads. That was all an accident. That was a loose end that they didn't catch when they were making the show. And then after it aired, they're like, oh my God, we did pick up the wrong Gordon. That was not planned by them. So they went back into the episode and re-edited the word 1 for 1 month into 4. They had Jay Lee go back in the studio and say 4 months. So now he's the right Gordon, but that was purely an accident. So I'm going to put out a little comparison of that pretty soon, sometime this month. I've already went and looked at the original and the new cut of it. So they changed the word from 1 to 4. So now it all works out. No paradoxes, you guys. Multiverse ruined Marvel for me. And I love anything multiversal or time travel, Curtis, but the fact that everything is interconnected in the Marvel universe, you can't see one movie without having to go see 40 other movies beforehand. It's just too much. I like multiverse, but there's too much of a good thing, I think, is what's happened to Marvel. I think they should just keep doing the TV shows. I really don't have any interest in the films anymore, except for Thor. But that's, or anything Tim Gunn. If Tim Gunn wants to do Marvel or DC or whatever he wants to do, I'll let Tim Gunn. I'll go see a Tim Gunn movie. No problem. With all the interconnected stuff, I am just over it. Brandon says, don't get me started on Cowboy Bebop. I miss it so much. Canceled before its time. I didn't watch it. I wasn't interested in it so much, but right when I was starting to be like, maybe I should watch that. It looks fun. It got canceled and I lost interest. Colleen O'Brien, I was so disappointed they edited and fixed the time paradox. I like the idea that there was another parallel Gordon out there living a happy life in the 21st century with his family. Well, I think there still is. I don't think they erased anything. I think they started a new timeline. Even going back to the right month to pick him up, I don't think they erased anything. Also, when Gordon got split, when he traveled back in time, he got split into 5 or 6 different Gordons. I think all of them landed in a different place. Javier says, I love when there is too much. Sometimes I love it when there's too much, but in some things, when there's a lot of stuff going on the screen and my brain just turns off and says, none of this is real, I've lost interest because it's just too much for my brain. I'm a simpleton like that, I guess. Do you think they will ever sell official Orville Season 3 uniforms? Official? Maybe like at an auction or something. I don't know if it'll be like just available to the masses to purchase on Amazon, but yeah, I bet you they'll sell some stuff at auction for certain causes or things like that. They got a lot of product that was created for that show. That's fair, but if you ever get around to it, check it out. Oh, for sure. It was on my list of things. It was on my list of things to see for sure. But also, I get very anti-entertainment sometimes, where I'm like, you know what? I should be doing something productive instead of watching something, even if it's something amazing. And then other times I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do. I'll watch something. Like this morning, I watched that new movie, oh gosh, what's it called? Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul or something like that. It was so funny. It's like a mockumentary. It was a good story, and it was like funny, silly, and dramatic all at the same time. I had a lot of fun watching it. I'm kind of watching low-key stuff right now. I'm like staying away from the big effects stuff, the big blockbusters. Though I did finally watch Uncharted. That was fun. That was one of my favorite game series, and he said, okay, I don't care who's playing who. I'm not going to worry about that, because the only person I ever want to play Drake is Nathan Fillion, and he's not going to do it. So I'm like, okay, whoever you want to sign up for the role, go ahead and do it. But the adventure was fun. Right now, I'm just looking for a good time when I watch something. If you can give me a good time, I'll forgive everything else. Like, I enjoyed She-Hulk, even though, you know, her rendering on her, the character, isn't as good as the Bruce Banner character, Smart Hulk. But I'm like, okay, it's still good enough, and it's a fun story. I watched Lord of the Rings, the first episode. I enjoyed it because I was a fan of Peter Jackson's interpretation. But also, I can see that there's some weird green screen stuff that wasn't up to par in the Rivendell scenes. I was like, oh, that's not that great of a green screen. Or it could be that Rivendell is just too beautiful for the mind to believe. So maybe it just looked like green screen because it's just the whole village is just too beautiful to believe. No, I'm married in a couple months. We're getting married in December. So that's another thing we're doing right now. We're letting people know, hey, we're getting married. We're inviting people. We're getting it all set up. We're very much looking forward to that day. Sometimes we're just like, hey, let's just go to City Hall right now and get married. We'll still do our wedding and all that stuff. But sometimes we just get tired of not being married to each other. But then we're like, we always talk ourselves out of it. No, let's wait. Let's be patient. You're a better person than me there, JP. Not my Drake. Oh, not my Drake either, but I'm like, it's just like what I do with books and movies. I do the same thing with video games and movies. I'm like, the book is the book, the movie's the movie, the game's the game, the movie's the movie. Because I'm like, you're never going to take away my experience that I had from the game. Come to Hobbiton in New Zealand. One tree has 3 million artificial leaves. That's crazy. That's some Rockstar GTA level of commitment to creating something. Yes, Shrike. I don't have the link yet, but our wedding will be live streamed. And then when I get home, I'll get that live stream and I'll put it up on this channel so people can watch it whenever they want in case they missed the live stream. But yes, the wedding will be live streamed. I just don't have the link yet. But once I have the link, I'll be putting it up and, you know, say the link is coming. The link is coming. It's amazing stuff. The pub is awesome. I find most pubs are awesome. I got a pub around the corner. It's pretty awesome. Kurt says, I figure the more time it gets watched, Disney may be willing to pick it up for another season. This show could be kept going for many seasons. It is one of, not already, the best sci-fi show on TV. Agreed. We are now best friends, Kurt, because our brains work exactly the same. The more people watch it and the longer they watch it and they go on to the next episode after the one is finished, which I assume most people are doing, that all is super duper brownie algorithm points right there. When you watch something and you watch it the whole time and you go on to the next, the algorithm gets a little nod, a little chime there saying, hey, people are watching this and are loving it. And then they start, that all goes onto the list of reasons to renew the Orville. And everybody is still up for it. The entire cast and crew are really looking forward for more. I think earlier in the production, when things kept getting delayed and all that stuff, they kind of lost their mojo, saying, oh, this will be the last season because this is nothing but bad things keep happening to us. But then once people started watching it and loving it, I think they all got fueled right back up. They want to keep doing this show. They want more. Seth wants more. He's already talking about filming Sympathy for the Devil in the new season. So that's really good that he's talking that way, you guys. Let's hope for Blu-ray. I think Blu-ray is for sure going to happen. I think it'll for sure happen. I don't know if it'll be like 4K or whatever, but it will be whatever is super duper awesome quality in Blu-ray that's not 4K. But it might be 4K. They filmed season 3 in 4K, and then they rendered it in 2K, and they mastered it, or they edited it in 2K, and they mastered it in 1080p. Because even if you have something in 1080p, but it was shot in 4K, the quality is still up. So I don't know what their plans are. Maybe they'll upscale the 2K edit. I don't know. There's, you know, the edit is the episode, and the master is just the master. Here's what we made thing. So maybe we'll get a 4K out of it, or at least a 2K upscale to 4K. Shrike says, I keep hearing rumors that Seth might not come back as Ed. That should really bother me. Shouldn't bother you. Those rumors have been told over and over again for the last couple of years. That's just people causing trouble because they don't know what else to do with their lives. They're part of the problem. They're part of the problem that Otto represented in Sympathy for the Devil. The whole groupthink, the whole just following along. Somebody says a straight out lie and people pick it up and just start saying, yeah, that's what I heard. So I would not even worry about that. I've talked to Seth personally. I've had drinks with Seth personally. He wants more. He wants to keep doing this show. This is his most favorite thing that he's ever done. He loves it more than anything you've ever seen him make or create. He loves the Orville more. This is what he's really proud of. Love the Orville, would hate to see it go, but if it does, at least for now, we still have Resident Alien to cling on to. That's a great show. I still haven't finished the recent season, but man, I watched all of season 1 and I couldn't love it anymore. And as an Orville fan, Resident Alien is the perfect show to go over to get you some of that feeling, some of that holding up a mirror to how stupid humans are, how silly we are as a species, the things we do, the way we eat, the way we go to the bathroom, everything. It's all put under a microscope, which with this episode, Sympathy for the Devil, I thought it was amazing. I really enjoyed hearing the inner dialogue of some of our favorite characters. We were able to know what Ed thinks about Alara versus Tala. We got to know, Claire She was referring back to Into the Fold in her mind, and the way she sees things, and the reason she joined the Orville, how Ed feels about the actual ship and the honor of it. We get a lot of insight like that you can never really get from the actual show. Also, I loved seeing the Orville universe through the eyes of Otto, where he really didn't understand anything. So the way he saw things when he first came onto the bridge, the way when he saw aliens for the first time, he was grossed out. He thought it was grotesque, that there were demons. Just the way he saw everything, the way he saw the lighting on the ship. We got to see that all through his eyes. Absolutely a great experience. Curtis Tate, Bruce Boxleitner does a great job reading it too. Yeah, he's got a great voice for this sort of thing. Sometimes I thought he had a little bit of a German accent in places where he probably shouldn't, but of course very forgivable because he was doing a great job playing the different characters. It was interesting. I thought Bruce did a great job playing Gordon. That was the one where I was like, oh, he sounds... I can see it. I can hear it a little. I can hear Gordon in there a little bit. So I thought he did a great job with that too. Whereas with any of the other characters that he played, I didn't really hear that character, but with Gordon, I did. Talking about Resident Alien, Dark Matter is on Netflix. Oh, here comes the Dark Matter. It's on Netflix in the U.S. until September 20th. Then it comes to the CW, the WWWWB. Good old CW. I don't know how they get all their funding. They keep making shows after show after show. I mean, really, it's not the most expensive shows ever, but they do a pretty good job with the budgets that they got. The Brown Guy. Hi, JP. I can't find Sympathy for the Devil on paperback. Is it only on Kindle? I believe so. As of right now, it's a digital book available on Kindle, but I highly recommend, we'll get them both, but I highly recommend the Audible one, read by Bruce Boxleitner. That one, the link is below, but I don't think there's an actual paperback as of yet. But I bet you with this fandom, they'll probably end up doing one. What's up, Connor? How you doing? What's the news? The news is the Orville Sympathy for the Devil Audible/Kindle book is amazing, and we're still waiting to find out if we get a season 4 renewal. I think if they were able to film Sympathy for the Devil, that they would be already renewed, up for some Emmys. And usually sci-fi shows, when it comes to Emmys and awards like that, they get it for effects and costumes and makeup and things like that. I think this one would have actually gotten an Emmy for script, whatever they got, script, acting, all that jazz, not the usual effects stuff. I think the rest of the Orville season 3 will get some nominations for effects, but it'd be nice if they got one for script writing or story directing, what have you. Vaughn says Bruce Boxleitner did the German parts horrible, but the timing of it was good. Plus the atmosphere was great. Yes, I couldn't comment on whether he did the German good or not, but sounded with American ears it sounded good. But what would I know? But yeah, but the timing was good and the atmosphere was great. Yeah, I loved the whole story. The lessons were great, and it's imagine it as a real episode for season 3. Imagine we actually saw that. The whole first half of it, we would have been like, what the hell's going on? Is this the Orville or not? And then all of a sudden the Orville pops up in the second half. It would have blown everybody's minds. Thank you so much. Oh gosh, it's been a month. Was it Ailing or Aisling? Or I can't remember. You're going to have to remind me. Got a quick break at work, so more than enough time to say hi, JP. Great storytelling, this novel, on a historical and philosophical level. Also, it's an in-depth holodeck story, which I love. Always my favorite thing. And yes, I know it's called the Environmental Simulator, or the eSim if you're nasty, but yeah, I like saying holodeck. It really, really was. Because it's like, well, what do we do? He's a horrible monster and murderer, but really he's kind of going along with groupthink, which is something that they said is inside all of us. But also, he never did anything because it was all fake. It was all in the eSIM. Very philosophical. They say it in the story. Only, you know, it's a philosophy lesson. Only philosophers are going to be able to figure that one out. Yeah, it was a really good story. And like I said, after an hour and a half, I was like, when Ed and Kelly show up, I was like, oh yeah, I'm listening to an Orville story. I totally forgot. And then it got really Orville-y, and it was great. Really, really, really great. And what a conundrum to be put in. What do we do with this guy? Are we going to be able to deprogram him from all the crap that he's been raised on? That's hard to do. The H guy was called Ferrer, not Ferrer, and that is a showstopper. Oh, Heimler. I think that guy's name was Heimlin or Heimler. Sounds a lot like Adolf's name. The Orville Sympathy for the Devil, to me, I don't think it was that good, but the show on TV might be better. I would love to see how Isaac and Claire, or even Isaac's relationship matures. Mark Jackson's. Okay, going to Isaac and Claire, I'm very interested to find out how their marriage is going in season 4. I would love it in season 4 if they're always on each other's team. Sometimes you got to teach Isaac something. Maybe even at some point Isaac teaches Claire something. But I want them to always be on each other's side and not have this, oh, are they going to break up type of energy. I want them to be the rock in season 4. I don't want no Isaac Claire drama. I want them to always be the one we come to see how it's supposed to be done. Orville is one of the top Hulu originals. Hashtag renew the Orville now! Exclamation point times 4. That's a good amount of exclamation points. Yeah, it's usually in the top. And man, in this day and age, it's hard to get to the top of anything because there's so much, too much out there. Remember back in the day where everybody was watching the same shows? They're like, hey, did you see that episode or whatever? Yeah, I loved it. And you have all these water cooler conversations. Well, now nobody's watching the same thing. It's like, oh, did you see the episode of The Orville? No, I'm watching Stranger Things. Oh, I haven't watched that yet. Or, yeah, I watched Stranger Things too. I love it. What about that one scene? Oh, no, don't tell me. I've only seen the first season. You can't have a conversation with anybody anymore. There's too many things. I sure hope Disney gets whatever it wants from airing The Orville so we can hopefully get a season 4. It wants those numbers. And I think it's got them. I really do. Because everything, all the charts seem like The Orville's up there. It's been up there the whole run of season 3. Mindy, thank you so much for that super chat. You're helping to keep the lights on here. Hopefully next time we'll have some more colorful lights going on. But right now we just have lights. So, but thank you very much appreciated. We're going to keep this fandom going as long as it takes. We're going to demand the Orville. Wow. I think in a couple months we should all show up at Disneyland. We're all going to Disneyland, maybe the beginning of the year, and we're going to demand the Orville. We'll say, damn it, Mickey, we need more Orville. Listen to Dust Sci-Fi Podcast. Chrysalis, 6 episodes so far. Super awesome story and vocalist. Chrysalis, you guys. Dust Sci-Fi Podcast. Check it out. Liu says gives it the thumbs up. Last weekend I got a photo with Kate Mulgrew. Hey John, what's up? I held up a comic bubble with "So why was Harry never promoted?" She held up "Harry knows what he did." She held up. That's hilarious. He knows what he did. He grew his hair long. It's not very appropriate for an officer, for a Starfleet officer. Ari, I'm actually rewatching it on Disney just to give it an extra push in the numbers. That's exactly what you need to do, you guys. If you got Disney Plus, put on that Orville and start watching front to back. Hey, Lindo, how you doing? Linda from Nevada. Mindy says, oh, talking to John, that's hilarious. Yeah, Kate Mulgrew, all the Star Trek peeps have a pretty good sense of humor these days. A Fistful of Isaacs. Yeah, that was great when he came in wearing that Western, he had that mustache and the cowboy hat. Linda says, I want more Orville. Don't we all? Hopefully we get that renewal. Hopefully we get as big of a budget, if not bigger. It'll still be hard to film because the COVID restrictions that everyone had to deal with, those are in place until like 2025. So they're still going to have to be wearing masks and separating and all that stuff. So, that makes it a little bit harder. But that's everything under that studio. So ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Everybody's got to do it. John Burns says, I hope Seth paid for those drinks. I hope he didn't stiff you with the bill. Oh no, all the drinks were free. All the drinks, all the food, everything paid by Seth. He's a good dude, you guys. I have to tell you. He was much more jovial than I thought he would be. He was the life of the party. Very interested to know what people think of the show, the music, everything. The Orville has no escapism, well, except for Gordon's adventures and Dan's dreamy eyes. That I wish we got a little bit more of Dan. We got a little bit of Dan. Oh, wow. I wish we got a little bit more. Another thing to look forward to if we get that 4th season, you guys. Shane Bly, thank you so much for that super chat. All the way from New Zealand. I'm glad Smaug let go of some of his gold. I bet you all New Zealanders are pretty tired of Lord of the Rings jokes at this point. Pauline, Seth MacFarlane is super cute. I wish I could meet him from Scotland, UK. Maybe if he's ever in the UK, maybe come to Glasgow. You really like him. Well, he's a very likable person, I have to tell you. He even got up and sang a couple songs with the band. Jeff B's got it right. Hashtag renew the Orville. Hashtag mini Moreville. And mini Moreville. Connor, one of my favorite episodes was the one with John Billingsley and Robert Picardo. Oh, Home! Season 2, Episode 3. I was hoping that we would get to see Robert Picardo this season. I mean, you can come up with a reason. We need a specialist that can deal with whatever he's a specialist in. Boom. Oh, I know one, says Ed. Let's go talk to him. Boom, Robert Picardo is back. Oh, Alara, what's going on? Oh, nothing. I'm just over here playing video games. Oh, cool. Hope you're having a good time. See you later. Bye. I brought you some pickles. Thomas O'Mahony, thank you so much. The thing about Orville is its bravery. It forgives transphobia, Clyden. It forgives Nazis, Sympathy, and explores a love story where there can be no true love, Isaac. You won't see that on Normie TV. No, you won't. And Normie TV is just not the place you put a good sci-fi show. That's why primetime shows really don't have sci-fi. Primetime channels. You don't see really good sci-fi on regular primetime channels because general audiences, they're not into it. They want The Bachelorette. They want whatever hospital show, cop show. They're into that stuff. They're not really into Thinkers and Explosions. I don't know why they're not into Explosions. Explosions is pretty awesome, but they're not. Primetime television is where sci-fi goes to die, and I think Seth knew that, and he says we got to get it out of here. I mean, he had other issues with Fox, but that as well. I'm sure he's a smart dude. He sees the future. He's able to predict things, see where things are going. Frankly, hey JP, love the show. I just finally got to watching season 3. I watched Mortality Paradox. Dang, what a deep episode. Oh, okay. First off, Frank, without spoiling anything, Mortality Paradox is amazing. One of my favorite types of stories. But wow, you are in for a ride. That episode, as great as it is nothing. Any episode you've seen is nothing compared to all the episodes that are coming up. You are going to have your mind blown. From now till the last episode, you will be laughing and crying in every single episode. I'm so excited for you. I'm jealous of you. You get to experience the 3rd season of the Orville for the first time. I wish I can do that. I can only experience it for the 8th time at this point. Probably more. Oh, I'm so excited for you, Frank. We're all probably pretty jealous. Paul D, hello, JP, and my fellow Orvillians. Too much to do. Can't stay. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Labor Day and say #renew the Orville. Renew it, damn it. This is Labor Day. Labor Day, you know what comes after Labor Day besides Halloween and all that stuff? Arbor Day. But you know we're going to have a big Arbor Day celebration this year, right? Are you only scrolling new members, JP? No, I'm just whatever catches my eye as it comes up is what I'm reading out. So I'm kind of, I got the whole long scroll that keeps going up and up and up with all the comments. So I just keeping my eye fixed right in the middle where right now your name is at. And as it goes by, whatever catches my eye in that middle section, I start talking. Pauline Taylor, Glasgow is in central Scotland. I had the chance to meet Brad Pitt years ago. Everything was cornered off. We got near the hotel he was staying in. I was disappointed. I missed him. Oh, good old Bradley Pittsburgh. I'm guessing it's all Brad Pitt is short for Bradley Pittsburgh. John Burns, the Orville has no escapism, well, except for Gordon's Adventures and... Wait a minute, did we get that? Oh, Dan's Dream House. Didn't I read that? Did that come back up? Oh, I know. John Burns just likes to say that. Yeah, the Orville, for me, the Orville has escapism and realism and brainyisms and splosionisms. It's got all the isms for me. Shrike says, I just met the bottom of the screen. There's a members thing scrolling. Oh, I see what's going on. That's automatic. The computer does that. It only does like 10 to 20 names. So I guess whatever the newest names are on the... I tried to go in there into the settings. It doesn't allow more. So yeah. So the scroll... Sorry, I misunderstood what you're saying. The scroll is just the latest 10 or 25, whatever the cutoff is. Which I thought was unfortunate. Someone brought that up a couple months ago, and I was like, oh, let me look into that. And I couldn't change it. But also on the main page, on Talking the Orville, in the middle of the page, you'll see random members. And I think it cycles through. So whoever's a member, their name gets on the front page of Talking the Orville. But every time you refresh, it's a new batch of names. I think it only does like 8 or 9 at a time. So if you keep refreshing, you will see your name on the front of the home page here. The more the merrier. I hope we get more and more. For some reason, I had Gandalf's voice in my head when I read that. But yes, more and more. JP for Chief Officer of Communications. Sometimes I can communicate pretty well. Sometimes I'm just a blabbering mess. TBNTX, I hate to run because this is fascinating. MP rest for the wicked. I suppose. Have a great Labor Day weekend, friends. My favorite way to celebrate Labor Day is to do no labor at all. I never get to celebrate that way, but that is my favorite way to celebrate it. Oh, how many members I have. Gosh, I haven't looked in a while. I'm sure it's over 40. It goes up and down. I haven't looked in a long while, though. Linda says, you should have Seth MacFarlane on your channel. Yeah, he's hard to get a hold of. He has been on this channel. I got some interviews. I got some videos with him. But I don't have any new interviews with him. I would love to have had a conversation with him about Sympathy for the Devil. I think that'd be really great. Maybe he'll be up for a Talking Ted when Ted gets near coming out. So maybe I'll get a piece of that as well if I decide to cover Talking Ted. But if I do cover Talking Ted, it'll just be like reviews of the episodes. And maybe some interviews if Seth sends some my way. I've already talked to Scott Grimes about possibly doing a Talking Ted interview. So I'll probably hit him up. He's a little bit easier to get a hold of than Seth. You got wood. Words are hard. The more Ville, the merrier. Also, I gotta figure out what Christmas song I'm doing for the Orville this season. I mean, oh, well, you know what? The 12 Days of Christmas is always good for a new season because I can talk about the new things we got out of the new season. So that one's always fun. We need an LP record of Bortus's greatest hits. Love me tender. I still want to hear him sing My Heart Will Go On. With that, we did not get. Dr. Zoom, JP, have you considered doing collab videos with other Orville YouTubers like the guys from Popcasts or Jesse Gender? Maybe comparing your thoughts on season 3. Well, I have done things with Orville stuff with the Popcast a few times. I think we've already talked about doing something together again about the Orville. I'm just waiting for them to say, hey, let's do it. I think we've already agreed on doing something. I've been in contact with Jesse Gender as well. We'll see if that comes, because I'm sure there's lots of stuff we can talk about. Jesse, she does tons of Orville stuff. So yeah, that's all been considered. It's all been considered, and it's of all a possibility for sure. JP, do you think Otto had other close encounters and thought he was superhuman because that bullet went through him? Then he realized something was up. Yeah, that whole idea. I mean, that goes along with the accepting our surroundings. We're just accepting our surroundings for what it is. He never felt pain before. He's never been hurt before. Growing up in the environmental simulator, it has the security protocols that the person inside will never really ever get hurt. So if someone's ever hit him or kicked him, I'm sure he barely felt it. I'm sure even if he fell down and tripped, it's not going to hurt that bad inside the environmental simulator. It'll just soften up. It'll soften the blow for you automatically. So he never felt pain. So when Ed punched him right in the face, he felt it was like nothing he ever felt before. He thought it was some sort of super weapon that someone hitting him would hurt like that. So I don't know if he had any other interactions or slip-ups to get a boo-boo in the holodeck, which is a very interesting idea. I never even considered that. I figured if you tripped or hit your shin on the edge of a table in the holodeck that it would still work, but I guess it doesn't necessarily work that way on a holodeck. Oh, come on, JP, you should call it TED Talk. Yeah, that's, well, I'll probably call it Talking Ted because TED Talk would get on your ass, would probably sue me because that's the exact name, but I'll be Talking Ted. But yeah, that makes you automatically think of TED Talk, right? And that's what I'm thinking when I say Talking Ted. I'm like, oh, it's like a play on TED Talk. But yeah, to actually call it that, I'd probably get in trouble. Because the stupid smart brain people and their rules. Scott, totally agree. Yeah, I'm sure I could get Scott to talk about his role once he gets closer. They're not allowed to talk about anything about the show right now. It's still in production. I think it's only got, probably another month or two left, and then they're done filming. Will Disney greenlight new season? That is what we're all hoping to find out very soon. And it really seems like they will. The numbers are really good. The numbers that the Orville are getting are high, which is very rare at all these days for any show because there's too many shows. Too many streaming services. People are competing with TikTok style content where they only got room in their brains for 15 seconds or less. Just get new thing. To actually sit down and watch an hour long show or an hour and a half long show like the Orville now does. You're doing very well if you're able to capture an audience's attention like that. The 12 Nights of Jaloja. Seth MacFarlane as Ed Mercer sings the 12 Nights of Jaloja. On the 12th night of Jaloja, Bortis gave to me an umbrella so I don't get his pee. Yeah, I hope they don't screw up. Just get us another one. People want it. It gets the views. Even if we don't get a 4th season, I think they should, in the very least, make Sympathy for the Devil into a 2-hour movie. That sounds like a good idea. My puppy Talia, nice, is sleeping at my feet. She is 12 weeks old now. Aw, Curtis, that's a good name for a doggy. Yeah, oh yeah, there's tons of room, Kurt and Ari, to have more adventures with these characters. We need to know how marriage life is. We still need to know what's going on with Ed and Kelly. They did the little, they held hands, but how did that work out? How's it going to work out if they actually get together and then some dangerous stuff starts happening? And of course, there's going to be an episode where Ed would have to send Kelly to her death. Because that's what you do, and that was the main worry that Kelly had. So they're going to have to address that. Gordon. Does Gordon find love? Does John find love? Does Tala find love? Does Dan find love? There's so much more to explore. The whole Krill, Mocklin, axis of evil. They are the new threat to the Union. What happens if the Caliban ally themselves with the Krill Mocklin deal, you guys? There's so much to go on. Talia, yeah, we got Talia. She's going to prison, but that happened before and she escaped. What happens if Talia, with her whole movement, what happens with that? What happens with Ed's daughter? Does he ever get his daughter? There's so much stuff to explore still. The whole Havina situation, I don't think is fully done yet. What's going on with the Sanctuary? Now that the Mocklins have torn off or kicked out really from the Planetary Union, and even though the Sanctuary has protections from the Planetary Union now, what happens with the whole Mil Mocklin thing? They're going to want to eradicate that Sanctuary. What happens to the females and straight people on Mockless? That's a whole situation that we need to take care of, you guys. We need to save those girls. We need to save those straight people from them crazy old Mocklins and their ways. We need to get some unity going on, some civil rights going on. What about Dolly Parton? Do we go back in time? Do we pick up Dolly Parton and make her the new president of the Planetary Union? I think she would do a damn fine job, you guys. Dolly Parton, 24. John Burns, thank you so much for the super chat. In Dark Matter, a character says, "We're pirates and smugglers and thieves." I held up a sign with this line, and George Takei held up, "Oh my, oh my." George Takei, you guys. We love us some Takei. He'll never die. What if George Takei decides to join the cast of the Orville? Or I would love to have Michael Dorn join the cast. There's so many things to do. We didn't have a whole bunch of Star Trek cameos this season. Will we have some next season? What's going on? I want Nathan Fillion to join the Planetary Union and be a captain of the Wilbur. And the Wilbur is the best damn ship. Everybody loves it. Everybody on the Wilbur is a rock star. and the Orville meets them. Turns out they're a bunch of jerks. Okay, let's get this going. There's story after story after story. What do they have a story about all the billionaires in the past making rocket ships? Do we find the Amazon rocket ship? What the hell's that called? Space Penis? I don't remember what it's called. But what if there's a thing where they just go on a planet and there's the wreckage of that spaceship? That'd be amazing. Oh, let me press some buttons. Gotta press some buttons. Hillary Pearl, where did you go? There you are. Dolly Parton time travels, comes back from the dead, and kicks Mocklin ass. Yes, if Dolly Parton became part of the show, they would send her down there and she would kick Mocklin ass all by herself, and she would take over. She'd become the new leader of the Mocklins to show them the way. To show them what it's like to be working 9 to 5. Michael Dorn can play a female Mocklin. He would do a great job, I'm sure. Will Mocklins ever show true respect for Krill females? I say not anytime soon. Oh, my voice is going out. Same thing with Otto. Otto didn't change overnight. I don't know if he ever truly changed. I mean, he changed a little bit from his Nazi ways. But that's indoctrination. It just doesn't happen just like that. That takes generations to overcome that type of stuff. So that's the case with the Mocklins. They have hundreds, maybe thousands of years of that belief system. So it's going to take a long time to undo that programming. Surely the Union is pissed at Havina for trying to involve Topa in her operation. Didn't make me hate her, but it was wrong. Well, even when I talked to Rena Owen, she on set filming that, she had problems with that. Seth had to convince her because she was like, "Why would I try to get a child in on this?" She had to talk to Seth. Seth said, you know, at this point, Havina is not able to see. She's trying to go for the greater good, so she's not able to see the smaller effects of what the character is doing. Mark Lawrence, thank you for that super chat. The audiobook is right at 3 hours long. Not sure if you mentioned it. I've been there, just had my hands full. Oh yeah, I said about an hour and a half is the halfway point, so yeah, that makes it 3 hours.
Wow, sweet.
Yeah, it's a 3 hour listen. It's great. Just lay back, get a suntan, listen to it, go to the gym or whatever, listen to it, do your thing. Does not take long to get through, but it is a full story. And it is a big story. They were going to film it in Ukraine. But at the time, of course, you couldn't really travel anywhere because of COVID. But then also Ukraine had some stuff going on, still has stuff going on that makes it where you really don't want to travel there to do work, right? But yeah, there was supposed to be Ukraine, and they're like, oh, not going to work. We can't, there's nowhere to film this episode in the world that we're allowed to go to, so they had to scratch it. And it just wouldn't be right if they tried to film all that European German stuff in a soundstage, right? It just wouldn't look right. But if they were able to do it, oh my gosh, it would have just been amazing. It would have looked so good. It would have won all the awards. People would still be talking about it. Dan was too emotional to say goodbye to Alara. He ended up writing a poem about it titled "The Fish That Got Away." He didn't have his fish hook, I guess. Love is the fish hook that got away. Dolly Parton is taken to the 25th, but this was the effect that the Planetary Union was never... Oh, but the effect is the Planetary Union was never created. Well, if Dolly exists, even if the Planetary Union was never created, but Dolly's there, everything's going to be all right. She'll be able to fix it. Or even make it better. Are you going to be or cover D23? No, I ain't going nowhere. or covering nothing but Orville. All Orville all the time on this channel. And when it's not all Orville, it's because I'm working on my other stuff that I'm trying to work on, so that will help me pay the bills while talking about the Orville. And if they finally say, oh, we're not gonna do another season, then I'm gonna just start back at season 1 and start this all over again. We'll just pretend that the Orville is a brand new thing. We'll celebrate episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. We'll have live shows. We'll just live in denial. But don't worry, I'll be there to be your denial commander and lead you through safely. If they do renew, Seth should just go rogue and make some Orville movies. I do know that Orville movies have been on his list for many years now. I think he started talking about doing Orville movies back in season 2. Which, you think, oh, season 2, that's just last year. No, it's like 4 years ago. There aren't even many good movies coming out these days. I'd kill for an Orville movie. Oh, right. It'd be so great. If they did an Orville movie, I don't know if it would come out in the movie theaters, except for maybe for a special Phantom event or something like that. But they'll probably be available on Hulu or Disney Plus. I'd love it. And really, I mean, there are good movies out there. I'm just not interested in any of them. I'm not interested in anything but the Orville. And I'm not lying or just trying to appease you guys. Nothing interests me right now. Even if I see something like, oh, that looks kind of fun, I'm like, I have no desire to go see it. If I got time and it's available right now at the palm of my hand, I might play something, see if it interests me. Like, I enjoyed the first episode of The Rings of Power, but I really didn't have much interest in going on to the next one or finishing out the season. Maybe I will. Oh, wow. But I wasn't really... I liked it, but I wasn't really... I was like, oh, let's watch more TV. I wasn't feeling that. Dr. Zoom, thank you for that super chat. Dr. Zoom says, when I was listening to Sympathy for the Devil, for the first half, I had to check my phone a couple times to make sure I clicked on the right link. I did that too. I think I only did it once, Dr. Zoom, but I did that as well. After the first hour, I was like, did I click on the right thing? Yes, the Orville, Sympathy for the Devil. Exactly the same. Did anybody else do that? What's up, John? How you doing? Hello, everyone. See, Brian Campbell says Top Gun Maverick was the best sequel since Terminator 2. I'm sure it is. I don't doubt that at all. I just have no interest. I'm like, if it's not Captain Mercer and the Orville, I'm not that interested. I'll go make a thing instead of watch a thing. Sometimes and usually when I have time to watch something, I just put on The Office or Parks and Rec or something like that. Man, my throat is going out. I haven't spoke this much in over a month. Or in about a month. Yeah, I don't think they would kill it. I think, from what I hear, Disney is very excited about the Orville. And they kind of want to have their own original sci-fi thing that's not like an old-ass IP that's been going on forever. They want the Orville kind of be their new thing. So I'm hoping that they think the numbers were good enough to keep it going and to nurture this universe and nurture this fandom and just give us all the things we want and that we need. I think more seasons of the Orville will no doubt make any person who watches it a better person. Like, I grew up watching The Next Generation. It made me a better person. I learned lessons. I learned things. I learned the repercussions of certain types of behaviors. A lot of the things that I do right in my life, I think, came from The Next Generation, and I think the Orville is renewing that for people, giving them new lessons to learn, to learn how to be a better person in this day and age, the things that we have to navigate in this day and age, which were very different than the things we had to navigate 20 some years ago. Things that still plague our society, the Orville is bringing back up, making us think about these things. John, I will give it a watch. Thanks for the suggestion. Would be cool to see an Orville game like RPG. Yeah, the only Orville game right now, well, there's a couple. There's the 2D games, which are really great. But the one that's really quality is the Orville fan experience. And it is great, but it's more of a sandbox. It's not like a game with missions and stuff like that. But man, is it detailed. The ship is just amazing. They did such good work. I mean, every nail and screw that's on the bridge, on the ship, is there in that game. It is a recreation like none other. And it's free on Steam. West Side Story, Pauline says, West Side Story, it was kind of like, theater? Is that theater? Kind of mature stuff, having a girl who has a strong Scottish accent and trying to do an American accent. I tell you, it sounds weird when you hear something, or when you hear it. I didn't see the new West Side Story. I'm a fan of the original West Side Story and the musical. I had no interest in seeing a new version of it. I thought the old version was good enough. Like if you see Pet Sematary 2, no, not Pet Sematary 2, Pet Sematary the remake that came out a few years ago, and you're like, what's the point of this? Just go watch the original Pet Sematary. Just watched Independence Day yesterday. Spooky how it gave the parallel to IF the Kalon attacked the U.S. in this century. Yeah, basically kind of happened, except for we knew just in the nick of time that they had bad intentions. I remember Independence Day. That was such a big movie, so big. I mean, the effects were in the glory days of digital effects, and the story was so good, it's blockbuster level stuff that everyone was into, and we didn't have 50 million movies coming out every week, so everyone went and saw it. I have very fond memories of Independence Day. Aileen, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. About to fly an aircraft that came in from Roswell. No doubt the historical birthplace of the Union. That's a story I would love to learn about. Is the birth of the Union. I mean, Kelly kind of got into it a little bit with What's Her Nuts, but not really. It seemed like, I guess, the Union got started because of the invention of well, not replicator, but the not simulator. What the heck's the word, you guys? The little box that makes things, replicator. Paul the Alien. Oh yeah, that's a Seth MacFarlane joint with Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. But thank you for that super chat. About to fly in, yeah. Roswell. I wonder what happened to. There's so much stuff about Earth that I want to know in the Orville universe. Same thing with Star Trek. I was very happy in Picard. You guys see so much of Earth. What's going on in LA? What's going on in New York or wherever other places they've shown in that show? I'm so less interested in the other planets that we've discovered. I want to know what's going on Earth 400 or 500 years from now. Except for in The Expanse. Earth's not that fun in The Expanse. Synthesizer, yep. They invented matter synthesizer. What did they call it? Did not name it much. They called it the Twinkie machine, I believe. Where's y'all Twinkie box? I'm hungry. I know I got to rest my voice, Jeff, but you are right. It's about time to wrap up anyway. We did over an hour. Rest your voice, JP. Remember, you got to say, I do. Congrats in advance to you both. Thank you so much. I just told my aunt yesterday, my aunt, as some people say, that we're getting married, and she was so excited, so happy. Even though we've known for a while, and you guys know for a while, we're kind of just getting around to telling other people. Thanks, Strike. Oh yeah, the John Burns says the Orville movie should be a Dollywood feature. Oh, I would go right off the bat. We should all meet up. Our first Orville convention should be held at Dollywood. I'm calling it right now. The date, we haven't really given out the date, but it's in the middle of December. But I'll put out the date when I get the link, and I'll let everybody know. I know I have to practice using my diaphragm more. But I still had to practice using my voice. I haven't spoken this much in a month. We're getting married in the middle of December. It's going to be a Christmas wedding. But yeah, we're keeping it kind of secret because it's a very small place. And I know, and even only a few family members are being allowed to go. Oh, I do have a wedding registry, you guys. Oh, goodness. I haven't even looked at that in a long time. Let me see if I can find it. And the whole, the registry is really there to help us pay for the wedding. Goodness, I don't know if I can find it, you guys. Wait a minute. I think I might have found it. Pardon me while I look. Oh, I found it. I had some people from the Orville even contributed. I mean, that was a while ago. Let me see if I can get a link for you guys. Let me see if there's a share. I have no idea. I haven't gone through this. I have some thank yous to give out. Okay, I found it. You guys ready for this? JP and Jessica getting married. This should work. This and this helps us pay for our wedding, you guys, just so you know. I'll pin it. Pin it in the comments. See, you guys help me out. There you go, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that took forever. No, I don't really advertise that stuff so much. Just elope. It's so successful, not worth. It's so stressful, not worth it. We've talked about that a lot, but we're using our wedding as an excuse for a honeymoon as well. And because my family, who I only get to see a couple days at a time every 3 or 4 years, they're able to drive there from where we're going. So my mom can go. My mom, my brother, and my sister can all come, which they would all want to. Yep, there we go. That probably has the date and everything. I don't remember, but the date might be on there. But it's like in the middle of December, right before, like a week or so before Christmas. Oh no, when we get married in Vegas, we're going to take it with us. Yeah, maybe as we get closer, maybe we'll, and like I said, it's going to be live streamed. So I'll be sharing it with everybody as I get more information. I just don't want to put out a little information at a time. I like to put everything out. Yeah, we don't need roads where we're going. All right, you guys, I'm going to go talk to my honey because I miss her. I've barely seen her all day because I've been getting ready for the live show, getting everything hooked back up. And we don't like being apart for very long. So I want to thank you guys for showing up, talking sympathy for the devil. I will be back with all and any Orville news that comes out, as well as, you know, we still got more stuff to talk about. I'll have a video coming out soon going behind the scenes of episode 9. Got some information all about that from an interview, so I'll be playing that interview there. And of course, who knows what else is going to go on, but we are in Orvillian community outreach mode. We got to get people watching this show so that we can get that 4th season and get our friends back to work in the 25th century. So I'll see you guys very soon. And as always, I hope all your times are Orville-tastic fun times. And remember, we all do better when we all do better. Love you. Bye-bye.